Eddie the Magic Monk. Eddie the Magic Monk. Eddie the Magic Monk. Eddie the Magic Monk.
Hey guys, it's Eddie the Magic Monk. In this video, we're going to show you how to split up names in a cell into two cells. So you can see here that I've got a name, Chan, comma, Edward, and I want to split it up into last name and first name. So what I want to have is I want to have Chan here and I want to have Edward here. Now obviously I don't want to just type them in because I could have 50 or 100 names or 1,000 names. So we need a formula to get this to work, or a function. So before we show you the whole function, I'll just show you parts of the function so we fully understand what's happening. So the first function I want to show you is called search. So it starts with like this, equals search. Okay, and what does this function do? It'll search for a particular character in your string of text. So if I go search bracket and I click on, I type in a particular string I want to find. So for example, in this name, I can see the letter D. So let's say I want to search for D, and then I want to search within this cell. So I click this cell. So, and then I finish off the bracket, press enter, and you can see that it tells me the letter D appears at the 8th position. So let's do a count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's right, 8th position. Remember, the space also counts as a position. So the letter D appears on the 8th position. But that's not going to help us. What I want is, instead of the letter D, I want to search for the comma. So I'm going to type comma here, press enter, and it tells me that the comma appears on the 5th position, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's going to be useful for us, and you'll see why in a second. So the next function I want to use is called equals left. What does left do? It returns a number of characters from the start of the string. So from the start of this line of text, string you can just think of as text. So in this line of text, I want to start from the left. So I'm going to choose this line of text, put in comma, and how many characters do I want is the second argument. So the number of characters I want is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, finish the bracket, press enter, and you can see I have Chan. Now here's the problem. Here's the problem, because the number 4 is not the same for every single name. So you can't just put that there, because if you try to fill down on this, you can see for the next person only Smith comes up instead of Smith. So the number 4 is not right. So we need to change that a little bit. It can't be 4. So where does 4 come from? 4 comes from the number of characters before the comma. So 4 actually comes from 5. So I'm going to click 5 minus 1. Right? It's however many characters there are before the comma. So if the comma is in the 5th position, that means that there are 4 characters before the comma. So it's always going to be this number here minus 1. So that's what I've got here, C6 minus 1. And if I press enter on that, you can see that only Chan comes up. So if I highlight both of these cells and then I fill down by dragging down the dot, you can see that Smith comes up. Okay, so that's done. That's extracted the last name from your name. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is extract the first name. Now, to extract the first name, I need to explain a couple more functions. So the first function I want to explain is called length. Equals len, length. It tells you how many characters there are in a string. So if I go length bracket, this cell, finish the bracket, it tells me that there are 12 characters, and it's right because Chan is 4 characters, the comma, the space, that counts as 2 characters, 4 plus 2 is 6, plus the other 6 characters for Edward, that's 12. Okay, so now let's drag this to the side a bit. Well, that's the last name, we got that. Okay, so other than 12, what else do we need? What else do we need other than 12? Well, I also need to show you another function called write, equals write. Okay, write will extract the strings on the right-hand side of a particular text. So let's say I click this. How many characters do you want from the right-hand side of the string? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I want 6 characters. And you can see I finish the bracket, press enter, Edward comes up. Okay, but what's the problem? If I fill down, all of this comes up for the next person because 6 characters from the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, will contain the comma, which is what I don't want. I just want John for the second person. So to get that to work, I need to get rid of this number 6. I need to figure out what I can use instead of this number 6 so that it works with every single name. So what can I do? Well, where does 6 come from? 6 is the number of characters from the right. So if you have a look at this whole string, it has 12 characters. So if I, instead of 6, get rid of 6. If I get the number 12, which is how many characters there are, minus the number 5, which is where the comma is located, then 12 minus 5 is 7. That tells me that there are 7 characters after the comma, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 after the comma. But we only want 6 characters, right? So, because we want to get rid of the space. So let's minus 1. Okay, so it's the number of characters in the whole text minus the position of the comma and then minus 1. So if I press enter on that, oops, sorry. So if I press enter from that, it tells me Edward. And then I can simply highlight these 2 cells, fill down, and it says John. So that's all done. So let's now drag this first name to here, and I have the first name and the last name of these 2 names. Okay, but there is another problem. I don't really want the number 5 and 6 and 12 and 11 as part of this spreadsheet, okay, because that's sort of annoying. So how do I get rid of them? Well, I can either hide it. That's the sort of the cheap way because they're still there. So that's sort of going to annoy people. So I'm going to unhide them, highlight the 3 columns, right click unhide. And I'm now going to talk about how to get rid of this. So you can see here that in my formula for finding the word Chan, I've got C6 pointing to this cell. So if I go to C6 and I copy the formula from there, copy that, don't copy the equal sign. So I press Control C, and then in my formula for Chan, oops, so press Escape to get out of that. And then in my formula for Chan, I'm going to go to C6 and I'm going to paste the formula that I copied before. And then if I press enter, then this number 5 is no longer part of it because I've replaced C6. So I can now get rid of C6 and I can fill down on this column so I can get rid of 6 as well. So similarly, I can do that with this. Oops, I sort of got rid of that too early. So let's Control Z, get that back. Okay, so let's go to Edward and you can see C6 here. So instead of C6, I'm going to copy this. Okay, Control C to copy, press Escape to get out of the paste mode. Go to Edward again. Instead of C6, paste that search formula there. Okay, so no longer need C6. And then E6, so instead of E6, I'm going to copy this, press Escape, go to Edward again. Instead of E6, I'm going to paste that formula in. Okay, so now it's no longer dependent on these two cells. And then I can simply drag down and I can get rid of these two columns completely. Okay, and oops, forgot to fill down. Okay, so I can do that, let's say with someone else. Let's say, let's just go White Carol. Okay, and then I can highlight, fill down, it's all done. All right, thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.
Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.